Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, Skype here from Pies Games, and welcome back to Space Engineers. Now, this is not the survival, although it would be awesome. Now, we're gonna do a bit of both today. We're gonna do a little bit of mod spotlight and ship spotlight today, and I'll get to that in a moment. And so let me tell you guys a bit what we're doing today. So we're gonna spotlight, firstly, a fighter, a new class of fighter that I built, and this big BattleCruiser class ship that I've built called the Maelstrom class, as you can see on the side here, very promptly named. And I'll go through all the aspects of the ship and the designs and take you a bit on a tour of all the ships and the mod as well. And this is going to be a 2-in-1. And this is just because I've had a bit of a problem recently uploading very long videos on YouTube. That's why there hasn't been any content the past week on YouTube, so I do apologize for that, ladies and gentlemen. But let's get to it. Now let's go to the Maelstrom first. Now let's check the exterior first. Now you might ask, why is it white and black now, or gray actually? Now this is actually a interesting camouflage idea I had, which you can design in which way you want. But say you have a enemy ship coming out from way that way. You would not expect that this ship is, well, here, firstly, because of the white and the dark gray spots. So this will just look like a reflectiveness that's bouncing off. So it won't look like a ship from a far off distance, say like 2,000 meters or so. Although if you get any closer you will be able to spot it, but that's to be expected for a battlecruiser size such as this one. Now let's go a bit through the armaments and the statistics of this ship while we're outside. Now this battlecruiser is quite a hefty ship. It's warp capable, and it's quite fast actually. For the size of it, it's a quite fast battlecruiser. Pretty good stopping distance, and armament it doesn't lack of. It has these big 1500mm cannons, which can punch a hole through any big ships. And then it has a lot of battleship cannons on the top and bottoms as well. It has one Mach 3 AI battleship cannon in the front and 2 in the rear, just because there are no big 1500mm guns in the front. So that is a good reason why. Now we have a lot of smaller turrets. These are mostly for anti-missile defense or smaller fighter defensive systems. So that is why these little suckers are plopped basically everywhere, just to give a full 360-degree defense around the ship. And now let's look a bit at the back of this ship's engines. Now this thing has a big, well, thrusters, just sublight thrusters. Firstly, it has 2 of the Emotive mod thrusters, which are pretty good thrusters, I do have to admit. They give out a ton of thrusters, but they do suck up a lot of energy, so do be aware of that, ladies and gentlemen. Now, also, oh, I almost forgot about this. These are pretty good broadside weapons. Say you have battleships jumping in from warp, and you need some weapons that can do damage against an equal sized ship of your stature. And well, these guns are busy doing their toll, but you need something with more penetrative force. That's where these guys come in. They're rapid fire missile launchers basically that are quite effective, I must say. So now let's go to the fighter complement that this thing has. It has 4 of the new Valkyrie class, keeping up with the interesting German themed design and ships. So this thing is the Valkyrie class. Now it has 1 arc reactor and a bunch of Naquadah generators on it. And as you can see, it has also the reinforced high-tech armor, which is also a pretty nice mod and has a lot more. I can't see the specification, but let's quickly check. Now I do apologize, this will take a bit of time because I do have a ton of mods on this save. Yes, here you can see it takes 50 steel plates and 1 large steel tube instead of the usual small steel tubes, not steel tubes, I apologize, small armor blocks that you can put on these small fighters. Now, as you can see, this thing has a lot of weapons, so let's go through a bit of them. Words. And, alright, now let's go, zoom a bit in. Now, this thing isn't fast. You'll see straight line speed, it's not the fastest thing, and it is a hefty fighter, so this is more of a heavy fighter design. Now let's, and it's not the best braking fighter in the world, so this is more of a bomber fighter than a fighter bomber. Now it has the 40mm, let's go through the names actually, 40mm mag cannons, two 155mm big guns, which you can obviously see at the bottom. It has the laser cannons, which are good against, actually good at taking out smaller defense systems and engines, it turns out. And it has nice 8.8cm Rack 11 high explosive weaponry, which are not working for some reason. Oh yeah, these have for some reason a tendency to rip off, so I am taking those off for some reason. So alright, then we have the heavy guns, which is just a good projectile weapon. Then we have our Gatling guns, which are basically they're on the wings, so they're more for larger vessels and to do rapid fire damage. And then of course, because this is a bomber fighter, what's a fighter bomber without wake bomb launchers? Now these things do a lot of damage, so two of them is more than enough to do substantial damage. Now the mod that I'm spotlighting on this episode is the Shield mod. Now this one has been out for a while. Well, I've been keeping my eye out actually on it for a while, and it's been showing some promise. It doesn't have any visual effects, but it does have the simulation where if you shoot at it, it doesn't do any damage until obviously your shields drain out. Now this is one of the abilities of the Valkyrie fighter. Say I want more power, I can turn off my shields, and well, I have more power. Now if I turn them on, you can see power usage is a bit more, though the arc reactor is a quite useful source of energy. Now you might have seen, wrong button, seen the shield mod on Captain Shack's videos, and as you can see, I have 4,000 shield points, so which is not very bad for a fighter this size, which granted won't do a lot of protection, but that plus this nicely armored blocks that I have on will be much more than your average fighter that you'll meet on the battlefield. Now, moving on, let's go into the BattleCruiser so I can show you off some of the designs. Oh, one thing I almost forgot to show you guys is the reason this is more of a pointy ship is you will see that if I go, say, yeah, about 400 meters out over here, you'll see that the front is a much difficult target to hit than the sides. Now there's a good reason for this. You want your main weapons to be safe, so you can fire longer than your enemy can, and that's what these are. It's a tightly locked weapon system, so you'll be able to rip them apart before they can hit these weapon systems. While the smaller weapon systems will just keep the rockets and so forth and fighters off your backs. Now these aren't the shield mods, this is just a force shield mod that I downloaded from, I believe this is the Shy Corp mod. Now one battlecruiser, Maelstrom BattleCruiser, can have a complement of 4 Valkyrie fighters, which are docked up here with these landing gear docking systems. Now the nice thing is these are fully automated hangar doors plus airtight shields, so this all is quite nice. So let's close the hangar doors just to give you an idea, and there we go. Now these hangar doors are very well protected, so it's that plus the force fields, and then you can get in. So now I will show you the back end of the ship first, and then we will go more to the front where the bridge is. Now you'll see this is a quite large ship on the inside. A lot of space inside here. This is more of the hangar area. There's a reason it's more neat and tidy and not a lot of clutter and a bunch of stuff just laying around. Now let's go back here. Double door system for multiple reasons. Number one, oh hi cat, you want to make an intro to the video? First reason is that firstly, if you have air pressurization issues in here, you want your air to your back end of your ship to be still there. And say you have a boarding problem, you have some time before they get in. Let's get in here. So as you can see, this is basically the living quarters area and where the crew of the ship spend most of their time. Now let's go in here first. Now this is where the science officers, as you can see by the well-marked blue cabins, where the science officers will sleep, and nice bunks. As you can see, they're all very neat. Not a lot of headroom because this is a quite cramped ship. It is a military vessel after all. So, but anyways, moving on. Now, if we go to room number 2. Now here's something you've all seen in the Star Trek series. This is where the red shirts sleep. Basically, this is where the engineers, your soldiers, all of the expendable or more experienced people that work on your engines sleep. So moving on. Now, just jetpack because the artificial gravity is quite high on this end of the ship, just because I have had some problems with gravity on this large of a ship, so I'm still working out the kinks. This is still technically a work in progress, so do not expect much. Well, expect much, but not a lot. Now, this is the gym/locker room area where the men keep fit on their long voyages between battles, and nice airlock rooms with good stocked arsenals and locker rooms and such. Now, oh, I forgot the blue cabinets are also where the bridge crew sleep, so I forgot to tell you guys about that one. Now, over here is the mess hall. Now, I thought, well, if a military vessel is going to need something, it's going to be a mess hall, because I do like my food, and of course, a fast screen TV or two to watch the local sports or whatever they watch in this time. So we have free TVs with nice sink kitchens, good chairs for a lot of crew members, and a nice fridge to hold your meats and accessories. Now moving on to the back end, the way back end of the ship where the engine room is. Ta-da. Now here is the pride and joy of the ship. It has 4 arc reactors with a bunch of Nakoda generators that work as basically backup generators just for in case something happens to one of the reactors. Now over here you can see the actual shield generators in work. They are 3 on each side, plus 3 on each side, and then I put one up here just for good measure. I think it's 1 or 2 maybe, I'm not quite, 2. So we have 8 shield generators plus their accessories in total. So this is a pretty shielded place. So now let's check a bit the shields of this thing. If we go to our shields, oh, here we go. So you'll see the ship has a total shield strength of 230,000 points, in addition with the whole armor and so forth, which has been a bit buffed in the last couple of patches, which is quite nice, I have to add. So let's go down, and I actually want to show you guys a nice party piece, which is I think something that can be incorporated into a lot of ships. Now, as you can, if you might have seen these are weird things on the top of the doors. Now let me sit in a chair here quickly, and where's my defense doors? There we go, close them. And as you can see, these are defense doors. Now, say you're sleeping, or your ship is under attack, or just for protection if most of your crew is dead and you need some protection to funnel people in, this is a good way to keep people out so you can get your weapons ready and wait for the crew to grind through. And just an extra security precaution. Although the missile does not have one, because I've had a bit of a problem, but it is the missile, so I didn't think it needed one. More the living quarters and the armory / gym area. So let me just quickly go and shut these back to normal mode. Yes, it is the defense doors. I have to get used to the namings of my ship, so do apologize. And now we go over to the bridge area. Now this is the main bridge cockpit area. This has its own air units, so if, say, the air has been compromised over here by a boarding procedure, then the people in the bridge can lock themselves down and wait in here with enough oxygen to keep themselves alive. Now this is the main area with the captain's chair, of course. This is the Atlantis chair from Stargate. I mean, it's the captain's chair, it has to have a nice chair. So now we can have a good, nice look of the ship. And I do have to say, this is one of my more beautiful designs. I'm guessing all of you guys would comment and agree with that one. Now, one little party piece that I do want to show as well, before we go over to the mod spotlight of this section of the video, where we show off this incredible shield mod, is this is also these are cargo containers basically, but they're more for aesthetics. So say you're on to the front lines of, say, a warfare zone and you need to transport stuff, this is also a good area to store your stuff. So I will be posting this on the Steam workshop, so if you guys want to tinker around with this and change it any which way you want, do go right ahead. I will also put the Valkyrie up there. So it's a nice little modification. Now you'll see there's a beacon over here that's not online at the moment. That's because the beacon, I've decided, is more of a life raft situation. And by that I mean, say your ship is under attack, heavily damaged, and you just managed to get your warp drive online and got out of the war zone. Then you can activate this and hopefully some friendly unit will come by and rescue if your antennas may be broken. So this is your life raft basically, like your emergency beacon. So one thing that I wanted to say that I completely forgot, and I do apologize, my memory has been playing tricks on me for a couple of days now. Let's get the main hangar doors online. Now, of course, all of the weapon systems are automated, so I had to turn them... Oh, they are on. Interesting. But anyways, let's go outside. Yes, let's go outside. And then we'll show you guys the mod system. Grab the Valkyrie. One thing I shall do is put a shield... actually, I want to blow this one up. So let's put a shield generator over here. And put a control panel... Oh, nope, not what I wanted to do. Control panel. There we go. Actually, no. Yeah. Oh, yeah, that is what I wanted to do. Oh yes, one thing I did want to mention about the shield generators, they do take up a lot of energy, so do be aware, watch out for it. I'll tell you guys in a moment. They take 15 megawatts per shield generator, so that is quite a lot. So do keep that in mind when you build these on your ship, that you have enough energy. That's why I actually decided to have just Nakoda generators, but when I took this mod, I decided to get the arc reactors instead, just because of this reason alone. So let's show this on HUD, and let's go and blow some stuff up. and see how much of a beating these shields can take. Now, of course, 240,000 shield points is still the bare minimum for a ship this size, so you can go crazy with this kind of stuff. I just went with 240,000 because I think it's enough to hold out long enough to be able to use the ship's weapons. But for the purposes of today, I will not be activating this ship's weapons, because I would just be a speck of dust with these Mark II and Mark III battleship cannons firing at me. So let's try out the max small cannons and see how much shields it take. It does take a second or two for these shields to tell you how much they've lost, so alright, so about 6,000 shield points per shot that you fire, which is not a lot considering it's a Mac. Now if you rapid fire, it does do a lot more damage. Now let's activate the big cannon, and that of course does a lot more damage. Now let's go with laser cannons. And as you can see, I've nearly depleted the shields. Now, I have been toying around with different weapon-based systems to see which weapons are more effective against the shields, and it's a bit difficult to say at the moment. But depending on your weapon system and so forth, the normal projectile weapons are more effective against the shield system for some reason. But if you rapid-fire laser weapons, they will drain the shields, but it takes longer for shields to drain with laser weaponry than with your normal projectile weapons. And let's switch over to the Gatling guns, the heavy guns. Now some weapons do more damage than others, so let's switch over to the Gatling guns. As you can see, a rapid fire is more effective than slow firing weapons on shields, so keep that in mind. So we'll just wait for the shields to charge up. Now the reason it's charging up so quickly is because of those capacitors and flux coils and stuff that the accessories I call them, that I put on the shields. So it charges up quite quickly. And once it's charged up completely, words, I'm so sorry ladies and gentlemen, then we will launch the wake bombs and see how much damage they take off the shields. Now I've seen rockets are still the most effective against shields, so do keep this in mind. One thing I do want to say is also, I'm not completely back to uploading like full content each week. I do apologize about that. There's just a lot of stuff going on at the moment, which is diverting my attention from the YouTube channel, and I wish it weren't. It's really that not that I don't want to upload, it's just difficult to get time at the moment. So I do apologize for not having more content the past month, but as of next month it will be, or maybe from next week there will be more content, but from September, October month there will definitely be more content on the channel. So I do apologize about that, ladies and gentlemen, and the shields are completely charged, and let's launch the bombs. And as you can see, they took about 100,000 shields off, which isn't bad, but the problem is wake bomb launchers only go 20 meters a second or so, so they can be intercepted by a ship of this size with the anti-missile turrets, so that is a problem. Let's launch wake bombs. And as you can see, you just see falling debris, but that's just one of the effects. There's actually no damage done. We can actually go and check it quickly. As you can see, armor has suffered no damage whatsoever. Pretty nice mod, and definitely go and check it out. I'll put the link below, and you guys can check it out for yourselves. And yeah, I definitely love this guy's work, and hope to see more stuff from him in the future. And also, one thing I would like to say before I wrap this episode up is thank you guys so much for your support, and also helping me reach 10,000 views already. And I'm actually blown away. I can't believe you guys. Thank you so much for your guys' support over the past. It's almost a year now, and it's been a blast, and I love you guys so much, and thank you guys so much for your support, and I hope to do this for many years to come, and just to make great content for you guys. So well, that's unfortunately all for today, but if you like this video, click the thumbs up button and subscribe down below. Like it, favorite, share it, all those good stuff. Tell your friends. We really need the help at the moment, and also comment on different ship ideas that you have, or any links that you have to nice ships that you want me to spotlight that you guys built, or just any good ships that you thought you might want to show off. So definitely let me know, and I'll put them on the channel. It's always good to see community ships and spotlight them. So thank you guys so much for watching, and take care and goodbye.